Hey, this is Kelvin Butler, owner of KBJRecords.com, and I wanted to talk to you about something that I think artists get confused about, and I get a lot of questions about it. They usually ask me, do I use EQ before compression or do I use compression before EQ? It basically boils down to two scenarios, and I'm going to go over the two scenarios that would determine whether you would use EQ before compression or compression before EQ. Scenario 1. If you have a piece of audio and it needs a lot of work, it needs a lot of EQ, you're going to have to really EQ a lot to get this piece of audio to sound correctly. In that particular scenario, I would suggest using compression before EQ. The reason for this, when you add compression, it'll kind of take away from your EQ because it'll take like a lot of the high signals and kind of, try to stop them from clipping and push them down. And a lot of your lower and softer signals, sometimes it'll try to bring those up, and you may not have wanted those signals to come up. So when you add compression after, it'll take away from your EQ. So if your signal needs a lot of EQ, don't put compression after. Do compression first, and then you use your EQ after. Therefore, you're not taking away from all the hard work you did with your EQ. You may still have to put a little minute amount of compression on the back end anyway, just to stop it from clipping the red or distorting, but you'll still keep a lot of the characteristics of your EQ. If you're working with a piece of audio that's near perfect or doesn't need a lot of work EQ-wise, in that particular scenario, I would say go ahead and put your compression after the EQ. Although putting compression after EQ will take away from some of the louder signals by trying to push them down and take some of the softer signals and try to lift them up, it'll just give you a more balanced and warm sound, which will probably be what you want anyway. So that's what I would say do in that scenario. So as a recap, if a piece of audio needs lots of work from EQ, I would say use compression first and then EQ on the back end of the signal chain. If a piece of audio is near perfect, doesn't need a lot of EQ, doesn't need a lot of work, I would say go ahead and use EQ first and compression last, and let compression be at the end of your signal chain. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.